Welcome students, welcome to the part 1 of our chapter Semiconductor Devices. In this chapter we will study about the physics of the semiconductors, why they are used for the manufacturing of electronic components and devices. We will study about their crystal structure and how they can be used for the manufacturing of simplest kind of the electronic device called p-n junction diode. A device whose action is based upon the controlled flow of the electrons through it is called as the electronic device. So, if we are able to control the flow of the electrons, that is, we can control the flow of electric current through a device. In that case, the device is called as the electronic device. Now, semiconductors falls into the category of the solids. So, based upon the electrical properties, we can classify solids into three different categories: metals, insulators, and the semiconductors. Now, if we talk about the conductivity of the metals, it varies from 10 raised power 2 to 10 raised power 8 Simon per meter, while their resistivity varies from 10 raised power minus 2 to 10 raised power minus 8 ohm meter. For insulators, conductivity is approximately of the order of 10 raised power minus 8 Simon per meter, while resistivity is of the order of 10 raised power 8 ohm per meter. For semiconductors, their conductivity is varying from 10 raised power minus 5 to 10 raised power 0 Simon per meter, and their resistivity varies from 10 raised power 5 to 10 raised power 0 ohm meter. So we can see that semiconductors have their conductivity lying in between that of metals and the insulators. That's why they are known as the semiconductors. Semiconductors, they have higher resistivity than those of metals but less than that of the insulators. So semiconductors can be used for the controlled flow of the electrons through it. That means they can be used for the manufacturing of the electronic devices. Basically, semiconductors can be classified into two basic types. One is called as the intrinsic semiconductors, which are the pure semiconductors. So if we take a pure sample of a semiconductor, then that is called as the intrinsic semiconductors. In a pure semiconductor, the mobile charge carriers are the electrons and the holes, which have equal number density, and they can be obtained due to the thermal excitation. That means when a sample of pure semiconductor, when heated, it liberates large number of the charge carriers responsible for the current, which are known as electrons and holes, and they are equal in number. Then there are extrinsic semiconductors. Pure semiconductor or intrinsic semiconductors have conductivity very small. So in order to increase their conductivity, some impurity atoms or some other elements, they are added into pure semiconductors, which leads to the formation of different type of semiconductors, which are called as extrinsic semiconductors. This process, in which impurity atoms of the different elements are added into pure semiconductor, we call it as a doping. So they are obtained by doping pure semiconductors with the foreign elements, due to which the mobile charge carriers inside the extrinsic semiconductors can be either electrons or either it can be holes, which have the different number density. So using a proper element, either we can increase the number of electrons inside the semiconductors, or either we can increase the number of holes inside the semiconductors. If we take a look at the valence band model for the intrinsic semiconductors, silicon or the germanium, they are the basic intrinsic semiconductors which are used for the manufacturing of various types of electronic components. Silicon with atomic number 14 and germanium with atomic number 32. they are present below the carbon, so their valency is same as that of the carbon. So each silicon or germanium atom has 4 valence electrons present inside it, which it shares with the nearest 4 neighbor atoms in order to form 4 covalent bonds. So each silicon or any germanium atom is tetrahedrally bonded with its 4 neighboring atoms. We call this type of crystal structure as the diamond-like crystal structure because it resembles with the carbon structure. Because valence bond is formed between any two silicon or any two germanium atoms, the shared pair of the electrons is approximately at the center of the two combining atoms, and there can be an oscillation of this shared pair of electrons between the two atoms due to the temperature. As the temperature increases, the thermal energy of the electron increases. So when the temperature is increasing, by absorbing the heat energy from outside, an electron taking part in the covalent bond formation may break it from the covalent bond and it becomes free to move within the crystal structure of the pure semiconductor. In this case, this electron, because now it is free to move anywhere in the crystal structure, it is now responsible for the conduction of electricity through the crystal. This electron, which now has left its site in the covalent bond in the crystal structure, is itself available for the conduction of electric current, but it has created a vacant space at its place inside the covalent bond from which it has come out. That vacant space inside the covalent bond, we call it as a hole. So hole is a physical entity which is nothing but an incomplete covalent bond from where a site from where an electron is missing in the covalent bond. So it has a same charge but with positive value as that of an electron. The number of electrons or the number of holes formed at any temperature T is given by the equation N equal to C into e raised to power minus Eg over 2 kT, where C is a constant, Eg is the energy gap between the conduction band and the valence band, K is the Boltzmann constant, and T is the temperature. For a given energy gap, this number increases with the temperature. Now for a pure semiconductor, whenever an electron leaves its site in the covalent bond, so a hole is formed. That is, number of electrons and the number of holes formed at any given temperature T due to the breakage of a covalent bond, they are always equal in number. So the number density of free electrons and the number density of the holes inside a pure semiconductor is always equal. When such pure semiconductor is subjected to a potential difference from the outside, the electric field created inside the crystal structure applies force on the electrons, due to which electron starts moving in a direction opposite to the direction of electric field, while holes they tend to move in the direction of the electric field. This movement of the holes and the electrons, it gave rise to a current. The current arising due to the movement of holes is called the hole current, while the current arising due to the movement of the free electrons is called the electron current. We know that the conventional current is in the direction of the flow of positive charge and opposite to the direction of flow of the negative charge, that is electron. So in this case, the total current that is flowing through the pure semiconductor under the applied electric field is the sum total of the hole current and the electron current, that is total current I is equal to IE plus IH, where IH is the whole current and IE is the electron current. Thank you.